In the Operational Efficiencies No Source Budgets dashboard, we get a listing of every elevation budget line item that has an E status code. E status code in Mark Systems means that the budget line item is in your elevation budget, but does not have a reason to exist. What this means is that at some point in your past, you either had a contract or a materialist that was driving the line item and caused that dollar amount to populate. However, at some point, the contract or materialist was deleted or made inactive and should therefore no longer be driving budgets. However, the budgets remain in your elevation budget file until you delete them. Each of these items is one of those instances where we originally had a materialist or a contract driving these dollar amounts, but we no longer do. But the dollar amounts are still in our elevation budgets, which are going to skew them, and can skew them by quite a lot, as in this case, with a $16,000 line item that should be deleted. We can see the average dollar value of the skewing of your budgets that is occurring because of no source E line items in this dial right here. We can also see the total number of E source budgets right here. In each of these cases, best practice would dictate that we go and find this budget line item, which we can see is on this cost code, on this elevation, on this model, in this development or community, in this company. We can find that line item if we go into Mark Systems and go to Job Cost, Setup, Elevations. That will open up your elevation file maintenance, where we can then enter into this model and this elevation. We can then scroll through the list of budget line items down here until we find the line item that has our cost code over here, will be listed here, and it says status E. This item should be deleted. To do that, we highlight it, selecting it so that it's blue, and then click the delete button. It'll ask, are we sure we want to remove this budget? Yes, we are sure. And just like that, your elevation budget has one less E status item. You can also delete many E status line items by using the Mark Systems elevation budget import. If you go to Job Cost, Setup, Update Elevation Budgets, you can export your elevation budgets to an Excel sheet, find all the E status line items, delete them or mark them to be deleted, and then re-import it. However, we can also save you a step. In the No Source Budgets dashboard, there's this button up here, which gives you a Mark Systems Ready import sheet. You can take this sheet that you get out of the Pulse dashboard, click the download button, it'll say the download will start automatically, then we can open this most recent file. That will give you this Excel sheet, which then you should be able to import directly into Mark Systems. If we take columns A through J, copy them, and then in the Mark Systems Update Elevation Budgets import, we select Import Budgets from a spreadsheet and click OK. Import from clipboard. And we always want to merge our elevation budgets. We're not importing a whole new list of elevation budgets to replace whatever is in the system. We are merging elevation E status budgets that should be deleted, so you should always click merge in this case. Once the import is complete, you'll get a confirmation from Mark Systems telling you that the elevation budgets have been successfully imported. Once your data refreshes on the Pulse, all these line items should be gone, or at least there should be very few left. You can then from there continue to use the Mark Systems import tool that we've built for you, or as I showed you earlier in this video, you can manually delete any E status line item. Once your E status line items have been deleted, your budgets should reflect exactly what you intend to purchase through your materialists and your contracts, which of course is the intended purpose of your elevation budgets.